Tonight on Studio Truths, a wedding dress, an old chest, and a love story that refuses to fade. Alina found her dress after 50 years. But the man she married, he doesn't remember her. Not anymore. This is a story about memory, about loss, and about the courage to say I do one more time. Alina, you found the dress in your attic. What made you open that chest after all these years?
My granddaughter, Maya, she's getting married. She wanted to see old photos. I went up to the attic and I found it. The dress. It was wrapped in yellow cloth. I opened it and I remembered everything. The music. The flowers. James. His eyes when he saw me for the first time.
And James, how is he now?
He's here. In the next room. He doesn't know who I am. Most days. But sometimes he looks at me and I see a flicker. A spark. Like he's trying to remember something. Someone.
Maya, you're the one who found the dress with your grandmother. What did you think when you saw it?
I thought, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I thought, I want to wear it. I want to feel what she felt. I want to be loved like that.
Clara, you're Alina's daughter. You've been taking care of your father. What do you think about all this?
I think my mother is in pain. And she's hiding it. She smiles, she cooks, she takes care of him. But every night I hear her crying. She thinks I don't hear her. But I do.
Alina, is that true?
And I cry because I miss him. Even though he's here. I miss the man who used to dance with me in the kitchen. I miss the man who called me his angel. I miss him.
Maya, what did you see when your grandmother took out the dress?
I saw her hands. They were trembling. And her eyes were somewhere else. She was 20 years old again. I could see it. She was standing in that dress, in a garden, with flowers in her hair. And I thought, this is what love looks like.
Clara, do you remember your parents' wedding? Their love story.
I remember my father dancing with my mother in the living room. He would hold her like she was the most precious thing in the world. He would whisper something in her ear, and she would laugh. That laugh. I haven't heard that laugh in years.
Alina, what was your wedding day like? Tell us.
It was spring. The garden was full of roses. White ones. James was so nervous. His hands were shaking when he put the ring on my finger. He said, Alina, I promise I will love you until the end of time. And I believed him. I still believe him.
And now? What does he say to you now?
Now he asks me who I am. Sometimes he calls me by his mother's name. Sometimes he just stares at me like I'm a stranger. But sometimes he holds my hand and he doesn't let go. And I think he remembers. He just can't find the words.
Grandma, why did you keep the dress for 50 years?
Because I knew. I knew that one day I would need it. Not for a wedding, but for a goodbye. I wanted him to see me in that dress one last time. I wanted him to remember who I was before he forgot everything.
Clara, you wanted to put your father in a care home. Why?
Because I was scared. I was scared for my mother. She was exhausted. She was losing weight. She wasn't sleeping. And I thought if I take him away, she can rest. She can be free. But now I see. I was wrong. She doesn't want to be free. She wants to be with him.
Alina, is that true? Do you want to be with him?
And I want to be with him until his last breath. Even if he doesn't know my name. Even if he doesn't know who I am. Because I know who he is. He is James. The man who danced with me in the kitchen. The man who gave me Maya's mother. The man who promised to love me until the end of time. And I made the same promise.
We have Dr. Peterson on the line. Doctor, can you tell us about James's condition?
James has advanced Alzheimer's. His memory is fading. But there are moments, brief moments. A song, a smell, a touch can bring him back for a few seconds. It's not a cure, but it's a gift. And Elena is his anchor. She is the only voice he still recognizes sometimes.
Alina, have you tried anything to bring him back?
I've tried everything. I play our wedding song. I cook his favorite food. I hold his hand. Sometimes he looks at me and says my name. Then he's gone again.
Maya, you were there when your grandmother put on the dress. What did you see?
I saw her chain. The moment she touched that dress, she became young again. Her eyes were different. Her voice was different. She was 20 again. And I thought, this is love. This is what it looks like. And I told her, Grandma, I want to wear it. But now I know. That dress belongs to her. It always did.
Alina, you put on the dress. What happened next?
I walked into his room. He was sitting by the window. He looked so tired. So lost. I said, James. He looked at me. He didn't recognize me at first. He said, who are you? I said, I'm Alina. Your wife. He stared at me for a long time. Then he said, I don't have a wife.
And what did you do?
I sat down beside him. I took his hand. And I said, James, look at me. Look at my eyes. Look at this dress. Do you remember? And he looked at me, and something happened. His eyes changed. He looked at me like he used to. And he said, Alina, you're so beautiful.
I was watching from the door. I couldn't believe it. He remembered her. For one moment, he remembered her.
And
then he looked away. And he asked, who is this woman? He forgot me again. But that moment, that one moment was enough. He saw me. He really saw me.
I saw my father smile. I hadn't seen him smile in months. And I cried. I cried because I knew he was still in there. Somewhere, he was still my father.
Maya, what did you tell your grandmother after that?
I told her, I don't want the dress. I want you to keep it. I want you to wear it. Because that dress isn't just a dress. It's your memory. Your love. Your whole life. I can't take that.
Clara, what did you say to your mother?
I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for trying to take him away from you. I was scared. I was tired. I thought I was helping. But I was wrong. He belongs with you. He always has.
Alina, what happened after that? The last time you wore the dress.
I put on the dress one more time. I walked into his room. He was asleep. I sat beside him. I whispered, James, I'm here, and he opened his eyes. He looked at me. And he smiled. He smiled like he used to. And he said, Alina, I love you.
And then,
And then he closed his eyes. And he slept. And I knew he was gone. Not dead. Just gone. The man I married had left. But for one moment he came back. To say goodbye.
that is the most beautiful and heartbreaking ending I've ever heard.
It's not an ending. It's a beginning. Because now I know. He loved me until the very end. And I will love him until my very end. The dress is back in the chest. But I don't need it anymore. I have his words, Alina. I love you, that's enough. That's everything.
Grandma, what are you going to do now?
I'm going to keep living. I'm going to keep remembering. I'm going to keep loving him. Even if he forgets me 1,000 times. I will remember him. Because that's what love does. It remembers when everything else is gone.
I'm going to stay. I'm going to help her. I'm going to be there. For both of them.
Alina, what would you say to James now? If he could hear you.
I would say, thank you, my love. Thank you for 50 years. Thank you for my daughter. Thank you for my granddaughter. And thank you for coming back one last time. I'll see you on the other side. But until then, I'll keep your dress. And I'll keep your love. It's all I need.
Tonight, we learned that love doesn't end when memory fades. It waits. It hopes. It fights. Alina and James lost each other in the fog of time. But for one moment, they found each other again. And that moment was worth everything. The dress is back in the chest. But the love stays. Maya Clara, you two found something tonight. What was it?
I found my grandmother. Not as an old woman, but as a bride. As a girl in love. And I want to be like her. I want to love like her. I want to fight like her.
I found forgiveness. I wanted to take him away because I was scared. But now I see. Love is not about keeping them safe. Love is about letting them go and still being there when they come back. I'm not going to be scared anymore.
And what about you, Alina? What did you find?
I found peace. I spent so many years fearing the day he would forget me. And when it happened, it hurts. It hurt more than I could imagine. But now I know. He didn't forget me. He just couldn't find the words. But his heart remembered. His heart always remembered.
Alina, do you still wear the dress?
No. I put it back in the chest. I closed the lid. And I said goodbye. Not to him, but to the dress. Because I don't need it to remember. I have his eyes in my heart. I have his voice in my soul. And I have his last words, I love you, that's my dress now. That's my wedding.
This is Studio Truths. I'm Sierra. Stay safe. Stay curious. And never forget, love is the only memory that never fades. The oldest love stories are written in silence. In waiting. In forgiveness. And in a wedding dress that remembers everything.